Have you ever had a moment, maybe even while you were awake, but a moment where you felt like everything in your life was trying to say something to you, but you just couldn't quite put it into words? Recently, I had a series of dreams that shook me. Y'all, I'm a dreamer, and I remember a very good friend of mine when we were younger would always say to me, she said, God has to deal with you in dreams because he can't talk to you while you're awake. You're too busy trying to figure out stuff. And that's just how my brain works, I guess. Um, these dreams I had, they were very meaningful. They shook me, not because they were scary, but because they felt meaningful. I always say when you remember a dream when you wake up, there's probably something to it. In these dreams, there were people that I love, people who've passed on. They showed up, not talking, not explaining, just present. They were delivering things to me, showing up in rooms, leaving packages with my name on them. And I woke up asking myself this question, just like repeatedly: what am I supposed to do with this? And I realized this. It wasn't about them trying to speak to me. It was it was what was already placed in me trying to come out. Let's talk about it. Okay. The first dream that I had was my grandparents, who were actually both deceased, my maternal grandparents. My aunt was with them. She's actually the youngest living of the siblings now. But she was with them. She called me and she said, your grandparents wanted to come see your new home, your new house. And I'm like, sure, no problem. Come on over. And while we were there, I mean, while we were on the phone, she says, your grandmother says she heard you cook something. I guess, and she wants the leftovers. She's hungry and she wanted the leftover, wanted some of the leftovers. And I was like, no problem. I'll warm it up and fix it. And I was so excited about them coming in the house. And when they got there, she pulled up in a car, which was my grandfather's old LTD, but it was right at the end of a short sidewalk. It wasn't really my new home that I actually lived in. This home had 8-foot wooden doors with glass panels. And I saw the car through the window, and when I went out to meet them, before I got halfway there, my grandfather was getting out of the car, and I commented on how youthful he was because he sprung out of the car. He was dressed impeccably as he always was, shoes shine, sharp. But he had on a shirt of mine that was a favorite shirt that I used to wear, as a polo shirt with vertical stripes on it, red, black, and white. And I knew it was something he absolutely would not wear because he only wore collared shirts where he could put a tie on. But anyway, I never saw his face. He didn't speak. He came on in and greeted me, but I knew it was him. And my grandmother was taking so long to get out of the car. I went back in the house to let my grandfather in. He's taking a tour. I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'll need to get ready so I can be fresh for my guests. I had on my sleeping clothes, my lounge clothes, and so I came back down to the kitchen because the excitement and anticipation was so high. I wanted to see my grandmother. When I got there, they were sitting in the kitchen, and it wasn't my kitchen. It was an old kitchen that I grew up in their home. And I saw him sitting at the table. My aunt had her back to me, but when she turned around, she was holding this baby. And I saw the baby as such a beautiful little chubby baby with a little poofy afro. And when I reached for the baby, and the baby reached back for me. And when I held her, the baby talked to me, and it was my grandmother's voice. And she was saying how proud she was of me and all of that. I was just like, oh, thank you. She said, yeah, I look different because I got a new body over there. And so things were different. And, she just was talking to me, and it seemed like such a moment. It was her voice that I heard. And in that, um, I have to say, afterwards and being awake and all the things that praying about and asking God for interpretation, and then even talking it over with prayer partners, and I see so many things after the dream that I didn't see. And of course, when I first woke up and all the questions I had in my mind. But one of the things that really stands out to me is this, and this is something for you to note for yourself. Sometimes legacy doesn't knock, it just shows up to see what you've built. Grandma wanting leftovers, it was that she didn't want something new. She wanted what had already been prepared, what was already in me. Many times we'll be on a mission to try to create something new, but it's what's already in us that's still feeding people. Stop overlooking what God already anointed because it's familiar to you. That doesn't mean that it's not good for somebody else. My grandfather not speaking in a dream, but being present and seeing him there and feeling his presence. Notice he showed up. He walked through. He stayed. Leader, some of you are waiting for affirmation, and you think it'll come verbally. It may not. Everything that's silent isn't absent. Some approval doesn't speak, it stays. When legacy looks different than what you've expected, you have to be able to pivot, and you have to be able to adjust with that. My grandfather wearing something that he'd never wear, grandma in a new body. What shaped you won't always show up the same way in your future. If you're only looking for what's old and in its old form, you'll miss it in its new function. The moment that broke me, when I really think about this, and I cried, having that conversation with the baby. I had my grandmother's voice that was saying, "I'm so proud of you." This is what I want you to hear in this, and this is what was revealed to me. Some of us are still working, trying to earn words we already received. Looking for that validation, looking for that affirmation, looking to be pumped up again. You already heard it. Sometimes you just have to go back and remind yourself, hear it again, regurgitate that, bring that back up. Talk to yourself. David encouraged himself in the Lord. Sometimes you have to pat yourself on the back, and it's not looking for a new word or a fresh word. Go with the word you already heard. Like I said, it was a series of dreams, and so these different dreams. It was about 3 dreams altogether. One of those dreams, I saw transition while caring for people and carrying pressure. Leadership isn't just vision. It's supporting people in decline, supporting people in transition, supporting people when they are resistant to help or change. Everybody you're assigned to won't be strong when you meet them. Sometimes you have to build up that strength in them, and your part was to strengthen and to fortify them. And listen, Susie, not everyone's going with you. In the second dream, I was on the church van, and I was riding, and I had a really good driver, one of the brothers who drives sometimes. We went to pick up somebody who said to us that they didn't want to come because they were dealing with some things emotionally, and it was causing them to act out anger, and they didn't want to cast that on anybody because they don't remember whenever they act up. And, we were trying to convince her to come with us, but she didn't want to come. She acknowledged her own condition. Sometimes people opt out, not because they don't love you, but because they know where they are. And they know that going with you will only be a wait. And because you're sensitive or sharing and want to bring everybody, trying to help everybody, you can't help everybody. Some folks, when they acknowledge where they are, it may be best to go ahead and leave them where they are. Maturity is recognizing when someone's no is not rejection, it's awareness. Knowing when someone's no isn't rejection, it's awareness. Okay. The last dream, and I'm almost finished here. I was supposed to be coming out of my office going into lead Bible study. And when I opened the door and looked out, I saw tables, I saw people at tables, and here's my grandfather again. And in this dream, he's sitting at the table, and in front of him, he has a package. This package is about this big. It's stuffed. It's fat. It looked like maybe a sweater or something was wrapped up. It was something soft inside. You ever get those Christmas gifts with underwear, socks in it? That was not in the box. It was a package like that. But on the package, on the wrapper, was handwritten my name, Demetri, Pastor DK Samuel Sr. And I saw it from across the room. But by the time I got to where he was gone from the table, but the package was still there. I picked up the package. I took it. I was going to go back to my office to open it up. When I got to the door, it was open. I overheard conversation going on. So I kind of looked in to see who was in there. And two prominent bishops in my life who have gone on to be with the Lord, they were there. And the gentleman who is alive was really derailing me, dogging me out. But they were ignoring what he was saying. I walked away in frustration. I remember that. And I walked away, and I, with this package in my hand. But then I woke up. It was like the end of that. And I was sharing this with my prayer partner. And one of my prayer partners, what she said to me is, the noise doesn't matter. Even when people are speaking against you, those who they thought was hearing it, or people of influence that would be able to, if they were swayed, that would cause a ripple effect, they ignored it. Not all voices carry weight at every level. Not all voices carry weight at every level. They may be able to influence low level, but for those levels that really matter, they're not impacted by the naysayers or the negative voices. If the room that matters isn't reacting, stop responding. So here's what I want to leave you with today. This is what's blessed me, and I hope this helps you as well as you journey on. Be encouraged. You don't need a supernatural message to validate your assignment. You don't need a sign from the outside when there's already something on the inside trying to surface. The question is not, what are they trying to tell me? The real question is, what have I not fully embraced yet? There's a package with your name on it too. Your calling, your responsibility, your next level. The only question is, are you going to open it? This is Beyond the Pulpit, and this is my reminder to you. Stop by and see about you. Be blessed.